Welcome back to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be continuing with our series, Dumbfounding Definitions, Dizzying Distinctions, and Diabolical Doctrines, a series sorting through some of the jargon of philosophy. In this video, we are going to be looking at a topic that we have not yet covered in any of the videos we've done on the channel so far. We are going to be delving into the philosophy of art and aesthetics. In this video, we will be looking at the distinction between the beautiful and the sublime. Okay? So, there are many properties in philosophy of art which we may judge various objects, natural, artistic, or otherwise, to possess, such as ugly, hilarious, offensive, etc. Two properties which are really central to the philosophy of art are going to be beautiful and sublime. What are beautiful and sublime? Well, there's a lot of different opinions on that, but we're going to explain a few of them here and try to, more than anything, give you a sense of what the big differences are between something that's beautiful and something that is sublime. So, we'll start with the beautiful. There are a wide range of views as to what makes something beautiful. Many of these traditions converge on the idea of beauty as a positive or pleasurable thing. Hedonists, for example, might claim that something is beautiful because it delights or pleases us. A piece of music might be beautiful because it brings pleasure. A more classical conception of beauty might claim that something is beautiful because it is correct and coherent arrangement of parts into a whole. A piece of music, for example, might be beautiful because the notes fit together in the right way to form something that is beautiful. The parts are arranged in such a way that they are coherent or correct into a whole. Still others equate beauty to love, but generally the commonality between these conceptions is that beauty is a positive thing either through pleasure, parts fitting correctly, through love. Some people claim that it's through unity. There are some conceptions that attribute beauty to something other than these, but this is the kind of general, more common view. As for the sublime, on the other hand, just as there was a cornucopia of views as to what beauty is, conceptions of the sublime are quite varied as well, but they're also going to have some kind of underlying ideas. Unlike the beautiful, which is positive and pleasurable, the sublime is impressive and awe-inspiring. The sublime usually includes the impression of an object which can be fearful, but doesn't inspire fear at the moment. Edmund Burke conceived of the sublime as something which inspires fear, but for which the observer gains some degree of pleasure from knowing that the object is not of imminent danger to the observer. A picture of a barren desert or a gigantic cyclone might inspire the feeling of sublime in this sense. You see a picture of a barren desert and it's sublime because you're a little bit afraid of it because it inspires this fear of kind of awe of there's no water to be seen and if you were there you might die. But it's sublime not just because of that fear, but because you see the picture and realize with that feeling of pleasure returning that you're not actually in that desert and there's nothing to fear from it. Immanuel Kant, on the other hand, conceived of the sublime as the power of reason over nature. He divided it into two types, the mathematical sublime and the dynamic sublime. The mathematical sublime deals with the power of reason to exceed our natural power of imagination in regards to the infinite. We might be able to only imagine something that is concrete or finite or something related to empirical pieces of data we've picked up. But our reason and our ability to use mathematics allows us to conceive of entireties, of complete things, of infinities. That feeling or impression of something that is infinite that we can't imagine but we can reason about or do logic or math about is the feeling of the mathematical sublime. The dynamic sublime, on the other hand, is going to fall more in line with Burke's conception. It is the ability of reason to overcome the feeling of fear that we get from seeing something which can be dangerous but poses no current danger. These, once again, would be things like large thunderclouds or cliff faces. They're often very large, often very powerful or dangerous things, but items which don't pose us any current danger. Maybe I'm sitting inside my house nice and safe and I see this massive thundercloud. It's something that if I were out in the middle of a field, I might be afraid of it. But because I'm safe, I have this feeling of sublime. If I were dangling off the cliff face, I might have a feeling of fear. But because I can look at it from afar or look out over it, I don't have the feeling of fear. I have the feeling of the sublime. A full examining of various conceptions of the beautiful and the sublime is certainly a subject of another video. This hopefully will serve as merely a basic introduction. Suffice it to say that the beautiful represents positive emotions or responses to objects, while the sublime represents some amount of fear or distress followed by pleasure from realizing that the object is not something which poses an immediate danger. Do you have any works of art that you think are particularly beautiful or maybe particularly sublime? Tell me about them in the comments below and watch this video and more here at Carneades.org. Stay skeptical, everybody.